Okay, moving away from what is a tort and why a tort happens, we're going to go into a history lesson of the common law, um, and then we'll go into kind of the different areas of torts. But to start, at first, and United States is a common law system in which we rely on what has been said in other courts, or in courts rather. And so, adopted from England. And so, the first case, we're going to see a case that happened in England, but had effect on how we imported common law and what we accept and not accept as a tort. And so, to start, at a long time ago, it was generally just strict liability. And strict liability is just a fancy way of saying, I don't really care what was in your head. I don't really care whether it was an accident, whether somebody else, somebody else, tricked you into doing it. The harm happened, and you are liable for it. And the case to kind of illustrate that is a case in England called Hull versus Orange with a Y. And this case is instructive because it shows us how serious they were in England. And right, it was the earliest known case. And in this case, I don't really know the details of it. I mean, in our book, it's just kind of the holding and whatnot. But it essentially says that for all physical harm, right? For instance, if I build a home and I lawfully use timber and it falls down one day, not by my own fault, and it hits my neighbor and they are injured because of it, it doesn't matter that it was an accident and that it wasn't my fault, right? I am liable. The other example it gives is, and I think this is instructive as well as to strict liability, is that even if, right, I am attacked by, Frank over here, and he comes at me hot, and I have a stick, and I pick it up, and I wield it back, and unbeknownst to me, Susie is right here, and I whack her on the head, and, break her nose, and I had no means, because I was actually trying to defend myself against Frank here, I would still be liable for the injury that had been done on Susie, right? And so, starting in Hull versus Orange, we give this backdrop of how strict it was, and then we slowly start to carve out more bodies of law of, well, maybe this is too much right here.